Hello, everyone, and welcome back. So it's been a while, but I am here. I am ready to start making content again. I got pretty busy. All kinds of stuff just started happening. Went on vacation, did some other stuff, took care of my family. But now I'm back, ready to start getting on the grind again. And today we're going to be talking about Injustice. Sorry, it's not super clear. But I swear the artwork looks a lot better in person. We're going to be talking about the Injustice animated movie. Now, for those of you who somehow don't know, Injustice was a video game that started way back when, and then they took that idea, they took that video game, and they made it a real comic book. I own pretty much all of it. Um, and I'm a big fan of the series at large. I enjoyed the story for the first one, and I enjoyed obviously the comics. I collected all of them. I have them all in trade, and then I stumbled upon the movie when I was at Best Buy. I was buying a new fan. I was upgrading my computer. As you can see, I got this kind of fancy looking fan for my computer now. So let's get into the movie. What can I say? It was pretty solid. It was entertaining. However, I didn't feel this animated movie, really did justice to the story that we were given in both the game and the books. There's a lot of points where this animated movie really deviates from both of those, and not the biggest fan of that. I don't mind interpretations, but I feel like the way that this movie was adapted was done so in a poor manner. I can elaborate further, but I don't want to get into spoilers just yet. So I wanted to give more of like a overview on what my thoughts are on this movie. And again, overall, it's pretty enjoyable. It was very entertaining. If you didn't have any background with Injustice whatsoever, I'd give you some opinions that you wouldn't have had you read the material, and I'll get into why once we get into the spoiler section. But it's pretty good. I think it was $25 when I bought it, basic Blu-ray with digital copy. There's no regular DVD in this. Um, but yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Very enjoyable. The cast does a pretty good job. All the voice actors they selected. The animation style is a little bit different from what I'm used to. I noticed that, but it's not bad. It's not bad at all. There are certain types of like animation that I'm not a huge fan of, but I didn't have any issues with the animation in this movie at all. All the characters are drawn pretty well. I guess animated pretty well. Um, and overall, pretty solid. So, moving on to spoilers. So, if you've played the game, you understand that this universe has existed for years and years and years. And you play as the main cast, which is brought from Earth One, and your goal is to defeat this world's Superman because he's gone off his rocker. He's a terrible person. Got brought in to bring him down, and that's pretty much what we do. That's pretty much not what happens in this at all. Just sorry. So that's not what we do. That's not what happens. This is almost an adaptation of the comics. So when you start off with the year one of Injustice, and it goes from there. So Lois dies, all this stuff happens, but this movie crams the entire 5+ year run of the comics and condenses it into what is this? Not even 90 minutes, 78 minutes. So it condenses it barely an hour. You barely get an hour of content. You collapse an entire 5 year story into this. So there's a lot that they skipped, a lot that they missed, a lot of characters that they involved or barely involved that should have been involved more or shouldn't have been involved at all. If you've never read the comic, I highly recommend it. I can do a series covering that soon because I've been meaning to reread it anyway. Due to, let's see if I can pull this out real quick. This is a newer release, but this is Injustice Year Zero. So this is before all the crazy events happen with Lois and the Joker and all that crazy stuff that we know from the Injustice comic book and the video game. So I can make a video covering that. I wouldn't mind doing that because I'm going to reread those anyway. So I'll probably end up doing that soon. I've read some other comics lately, newer ones that are pretty solid that I wouldn't mind be covering as well. So just stay tuned for that. But getting back to this, there's a lot of deviations. I'm gonna spoiler alert. This is like your second or third one, so I'm gonna start getting into spoilers. parallel universes are brought in for this, but it's done in a very different manner. So Batman's not the one that creates the portal and brings in the parallel heroes to stop Superman. What happens is it's Mr. Terrific, and he builds like a gateway. And the only one he brings of heroes is Superman. He brings a Superman to fight Superman. Makes sense, right? Except the Superman in the Injustice universe has like pretty much thrown away holding back. So he's like beating the crap out of the Superman from the other world, and he's just buying him time, as it turns out. So Mr. Terrific used this parallel dimension portal to go to another Earth to get a Lois Lane who lost her Superman in a fight to Brainiac. So this Lois Lane, pregnant, like very, very pregnant, like third trimester pregnant, is brought in and gives him like a speech, and Superman admits defeat, and he goes and whatever, he gets defeated. Um, I wasn't crazy about that ending, just kind of whack. I think something closer to the game would have been pretty cool, but there was a lot of characters they killed off in this movie, man. I think Flash gets killed off in like the first 10 minutes. He like walks into a trap and gets gassed and drugged, and then razors just come out of nowhere and like kill him. They don't show him dying, but like he's dead. They killed a bunch of other characters too. It was crazy. I didn't. There was a like the Flash death already. I was like, well, that's huge. Why would they kill him? Because the Flash is like pivotal in like both the comics, the video game, and the second video game. Because the Flash, Barry Allen, is one of those characters that kept teetering back and forth. He was like, I mean, Superman, you're kind of being a jerk. Why are you doing this? And at the same time, what's he gonna do? Like, so the Flash is one of those really interesting characters from the Injustice universe that I felt was done too dirty in this, given his role in the greater scheme of things in the Injustice universe. Also, Hal Jordan, he's in it for probably a grand total of 2.5 minutes, and then you never see him again. And he was a pretty big character. He was very important because he had, along with Superman, he had his own minor arc where he also fell from being a good guy to heavily influenced by the bad guys. And so that was pretty disappointing, especially to me as a huge Hal Jordan fan. I was really disappointed in that. And there's a few other variations as well, like Black Canary's not in it at all, who is like, she's huge. And she's huge in the entire Injustice story, both year one, or Injustice 1, Injustice 2, the video game, the comic books. She's big in all of that. Black Canary is huge and pivotal. She has a lot of really good moments with Harley Quinn, and I'm not a fan of Harley Quinn personally, but Harley Quinn in Injustice is probably one of the better versions of Harley Quinn. And they had a lot of really good banter, and Black Canary is just left out of this movie. I felt like that was a really missed opportunity. They did some cool stuff with Dick Grayson. For those of you that know from comics or the video game, Dick Grayson dies in year one, and they maintained that in this. He died, but they rushed him turning into basically dead. They called him Deadwing, but it's basically he becomes the new Deadman, and he can like possess people and do stuff. And he had two very like cutout jobs to do within this movie, and I mean he does them, but like it was just very rushed. I felt Dick Grayson fans will get a huge kick out of that because I don't think it was until like year 3 that Dick Grayson was used at all after his death in the first year. So Dick Grayson fans will like that. If you're a Damian fan, Damian's got some pretty good stuff in this. At first, he follows the comic books and stuff, and he like aligns himself with Superman. But one of the huge major differences was instead of Sinestro or other villains, it was Ra's al Ghul that like teamed up with Superman, like pushed him to be a bad guy, and Ra's al Ghul somehow invented Amazo and all this other craziness. Like I said, it deviates a lot from the comic books. So if you've read the books or played the game, you're in for a very much different story here. Not saying that's a bad thing, but I was a little disappointed with the ending. Everything else in between, I was like, whoa, what are they going to do then with the ending? So yeah, everything from point A to like 80-90% of the movie was really good. And then, like I said, that last little bit, I was just like, so that's how they're going to beat him? They're just going to pull an anime and like speak jutsu him and just like talk him down. He's just gonna give up being so extreme. I don't know. I thought that was kind of weird. Wasn't a huge fan. But overall, like I said, the movie's pretty entertaining. Solid movie. Is it worth $25? Maybe not. If you can find it cheaper or rent it or something, I'd probably do that. Unless you're a hardcore fan of Injustice or you just like collecting the DC movies or whatever. I'd probably just wait for it on streaming. that is pretty much it. Another one that I'm going to be doing soon is Death in the Family. So this DVD has been out for a minute. I've been slacking really bad, and I haven't bought it myself. However, it is on HBO Max if you just want to watch it. However, they don't have the interactive version. So if you watch it on HBO Max, you're basically just watching Under the Red Hood with Batman's commentary, and at the end he's talking to Superman. And that's what makes it interactive. Is like you get different points where you can make different decisions and get a different outcome. Otherwise, you're just, like I said, you're just watching Under the Red Hood. So if you've seen that, you've seen this movie. So get it on DVD, play the interactive version. Probably get its own video in the future. So I'm not going to say anything more on that. But yeah, going back to Injustice. Solid movie. Don't really have anything else to say about it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright, well, if you stuck around and checked out the video, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. See ya.